Hey guys, how you doing? It's Dave. I wanted to make another video. This one is another topical video, something that has been on my mind that I wanted to share. You know, there's always these little nuanced thoughts rolling around in my head, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. So today's topic is the difference, or I should say the preference, of a flow-through construction, or a pillar construction knife compared to an open back design, compared to a knife that is a closed design, that doesn't have pillar construction, something that's, whether an integral or something that has a nice long back spacer, So, anyway, let me talk about it for a minute. So, you probably already know what these pieces are. I've shown them in a lot of, not a lot, I've showed them in other videos. On the bottom right, have the, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, the name is slipping me. Holy cow. Give me a second. That is the Surge Rook. On the left here, you have the Rockstead Shin. Then you have the Spyderco Manix, Allen Elishewitz M2 Tetralock folder, and the Benchmade Nakamura. So, just to show you a difference, right? This is like a, see if I can, you know what, let me open it. Like a flow-through construction. Oop. Okay. Just because of this locking mechanism and everything, there's no pillars the way he designed it. But, right, so, something like so, all right, Benchmade, pillar construction, flow-through design, all right, okay, now, compared, oh man, if you guys only understood how smooth a Rockstead was, you'd go out and buy one if you haven't already. It is completely in a league all its own. I mean, Chris Reeve, no comparison. You do not stand a chance to the smoothness of the Rockstead. Not even close. Couldn't even possibly come close. I don't care how well it breaks in, it doesn't come like this directly from the factory. So, the Rockstead Shin. It's a clamshell design, all right? Beautifully contoured, chamfered the way that it's made. The 6063 aluminum. It almost looks like it's an integral, but you see that line going right down the middle? It's two pieces that are put together. The aluminum. Oh, get it to focus. Maybe. Come on. There we go. Okay. Completely closed off design, right? Spyderco Manix. Lightweight. Right? Not like the G10 models, correct? All right. And Allen Elishewitz M2 Tetralock folder. It has a beautiful G10 backspacer, very simple, very nicely done, beautifully fitted. So this isn't an entirely closed off design, you know, because the locking mechanism's here and whatnot, but even still, it's closed off enough. It's about, let's say, at least 3/4, maybe a little more, maybe 5/8. But anyway, maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe 3/4 is more than 5/8. Either way, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a closed-off design? Or like that type of clamshell design? Do you prefer the knife not to be a flow-through construction? Do you prefer the backspacer? Do you prefer that? What do you like? I'll tell you, I love all these knives, which is why I have them. I don't plan on selling any of them. Funny thing is, though, the more that I use them, the more that I carry them and handle them, even when just bearing down on them, I gotta tell you, the closed-off design, whether it's the one in the middle of the two on the left, right? Allen Elishewitz, Mannix, and the Rockstead. All closed-off designs. So when you're bearing down on them, I mean, pocket clip is not my favorite. That's neither here nor there. It is so comfortable. You can bear down on this, and it does not hurt because of the fact that there's no titanium, there's no liners that are actually pinching into the palm of your hand, into your skin, and where your skin will actually press into and inset into the back of the handle, you know? Now, I'm not knocking Benchmade Nakamura. Love this knife. I've spoke its praises. And this one actually doesn't really do it. The ergonomics on this are so good. So good. But the point is, I just wanted to bring these out as a comparison because I've noticed there are a lot of open back designs, flow-through construction designs, pillared standoff designs that when you are gripping them tightly, or if you're using them in a more, I don't want to say abusive, but just a more demanding setting, that it pinches into the back of your hand. And after a while, you'll get sore. You'll notice, like, wow, this is quite uncomfortable. This is a hot spot. And you might not realize it. But it's something that I've been noticing a lot more. I mean, there's there's a reason why baseball bats are not hollowed out in the middle. I mean, this is a stupid comparison. I'm sorry, but and riveted back together and then left hollow in the middle. I'm trying to think of a different thing. Okay, let's pretend. Okay, okay, right. If you guys like to hunt, right, and excuse me, you're using a bow and arrow. The handle on the bow and arrow, it's not hollowed out, and then there's screws holding it together on the handle, right? And then I don't know anything about bow and arrows, but I'm just pointing out that no, it's an entirely one solid piece. Or if it was two pieces, they are seamed together so closely that it resembles one piece. And when you're gripping it and holding it, like, your hand is going to be comfortable. It's not going to produce any hot spots. Nothing's going to pinch your skin and get into the palm of your hand and really cause a hot spot. And this is something, like I said, that I've noticed recently that I've been thinking about. And I'm like, under hard use, or not even hard use, just extended use, look at some of these guys like Cedric Aneda, right? Who will sit there and make a video for us cutting hundreds and hundreds of cuts of Twisted Sisal rope, or, Outpost 76. That guy's very good too, who cuts, hundreds of feet of cardboard. I mean, that's taxing on your hand after a while. That's wearing. Do you think that open back designs are better than closed off designs? Overall, over extended use? No, I don't. Okay, here's another example. You're cutting down a tree with a saw, right? Doesn't have to be a big tree. Just picture a hand saw, right? And it's hollowed out in the middle. And it's like a flow-through construction, right? So it's not the one solid piece. Or if you're using, a screwdriver or a socket wrench, the way it's made to be used. And then next thing you know, they come out with one that has a flow-through construction, and they either rivet it together or they screw it together with certain screws, and there's like this flow-back construction, something like so. I couldn't imagine how uncomfortable that would be over a long time, an extended period of use. I mean, even for like 3 or 4 minutes, not even like 5 or 10, that'd be very uncomfortable. And that's why I believe that most of the tools and stuff that you see, if not all of them, are made that way intentionally, when you hold a stick, I mean, yes, it's exactly how God created it. So it's not hollowed out or anything, but if you could picture taking 2 pieces of that stick and, tying it together somehow, or, screwing it together somehow, and then you have this hollowed out section, and you try to swing it like you're playing stickball, rather than something that's... I'm sorry, I went off on a ridiculous tangent, but you get my drift. Rather than just a regular stick that you find in the woods and it's completely intact, and, Point is, I'm beginning to reevaluate my tastes going forward. It's something that I've been thinking about. Like I said, there's a lot of little nuances that us knife guys really take into account, and we're very anal about them, but for good reason. I wouldn't have the collection I had today if I didn't nitpick some and really go through a fine scrutinizing process of eliminating knives that I didn't want or like or need anymore, because I got rid of a lot of them, and I could not be happier. Having quality over quantity is much better than quantity over quality. Quality supersedes that by far. If anyone tells you different, they're lying to you. But anyway, I think that's it. Just wanted to share that, think about it. Over extended use, when you're using a tool like that, flow-through construction or non-flow-through, closed off design, clamshell design, full backspacer, or most of the backspacer design, it's going to be a lot more comfortable in hand. It's going to produce less hot spots. And I think a lot of collectors don't take this into account because they grip a knife in hand and they're like, wow, this is comfortable. Or this has great ergonomics. But they don't look at the big picture. They don't look at the long term. You know, a knife is a tool. And yes, there are beautiful tools as you see before you. You know, those that I would not want to use under hard use because to me they're a collector's item. But still, if I had to use it, I would. Reference my other video or knives made for hard use. You know, just something that I think about. And if I were going to do that, I would want something that has a closed-off design. You know, not a pillar construction or anything. So that's it. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. You guys have a good evening. Thanks for watching.